This is a quick performance installation video for K10700. Everything needed to complete the installation is in the box: the plates, fasteners, spacers, tensioner, and installation instructions. We will begin the installation with some pre-assembly. Insert 2 of the long bolts where shown, add 2 long spacers, then the back plates, and the 2 short spacers. We are now ready to mount onto the cylinder head. We will install the bracket on the 2 uppermost head bolts of the LS cylinder head. At this stage, leave all bolts loose so that other parts can easily be bolted on as well. Next, we will install the bolt and spacer through the tensioner mounting hole just to hold it in place for a later step. If you are using an LS truck water pump, the next step will be to install the lower spacer and bolt into the cylinder head. To install this bracket with a 2010 and later Camaro water pump, we will attach the bracket slightly differently. Included in the kit are 2 spacers to do this depending on if you have a genuine GM or an aftermarket water pump. The genuine GM uses a 3/4 inch diameter tube. The Gates pump sold by Kwik Performance uses a 1 inch outside diameter tube. For the 2010 and later Camaro water pump, we will use the upper hole and attach to the tensioner boss. Next, we will install the compressor. I find it easier to install the back bolt first, followed by the lowermost front bolt. Then rotate the compressor up and tighten the top bolt. Go ahead and thread the nut onto the back 8mm bolt, but leave very loose to avoid binding. Next, we will begin the torque sequence. Take the weight off the compressor and also the slack out of the bolt holes all in the same direction to avoid binding. We are going to tighten the 2 bolts going into the cylinder head to 37 foot-pounds. This is going to square the bracket to the cylinder head. Then, we follow up with the lowermost bolt going into either the cylinder head or the water pump boss. Next, torque the bolts on the front of the compressor to 15 foot-pounds. This is going to square the compressor to the bracket. Then torque the rear 8mm bolt and nut. Install the tensioner by removing the lower bolt and inserting through the tensioner housing. This bolt and nut will also be torqued to 37 foot-pounds. Now you will need to choose a belt based on what you have on the alternator power steering side. You will notice there is a high output and a standard output alternator. This is how you measure to determine which you have. Put a straight edge on the mounting bolts and measure up to the center of the pulley. Thank you for choosing Kwik Performance.